I made this bowl from a log I found at the side of the street. Not bad for free wood. I'm trying to reduce the size a little bit at the bandsaw. It's not easy. My bandsaw's got a 6-inch throat and this is a 6.5-inch log. I'm really only going to manage to take off that little bit on the side. I did record an opening where I showed you the log, a little more detail on the circle, but of course my camera decided not to record. So I'm going to push this through here. My bandsaw, very underpowered, very not ready for this task. I will eventually get it through, but it is not happy. I've got it mounted here on the lathe. It's very lopsided, very out of balance. One side is heavier than the other. I drew a circle on the intro that didn't record. You can see where I want the bowl to be, but I've got a lot of weight on the outside there, so it's going to be rather out of balance. It's a little bit scary, but I should be able to make it work. I've got my favorite 5/8-inch bowl gouge. I'm starting at the center and doing a pull cut to the outside. I'm trying to get something round and trying to get something I can get my bevel to rest on, because right now it's really kind of crazy getting anything to ride on it, and I just don't have a lot of RPMs. I finally got some sort of contact. I'm able to get it down now, so I've got a little bit of a smoother cut. You can see me pulling a line across there, working my way to the outside. I'm going to come around and go around that corner and try to nip off those edges that are too big. I'm making better contact and I'm getting some good shavings coming off the piece. This piece is very wet. I think it's about 18 to 20% moisture content. So as I come around that corner, you can see they're kind of coming off in bigger chunks, and I even have the dust collector on. I'm starting to come around that corner. It's looking like a bowl more and more. I'm working that edge to try to get that big chunk off the side. And once I do that, I can get some RPMs up and I can start to really make it look like a bowl. Come around that corner with all that sawdust in my hand, fell off my line. I'll reestablish it and keep going. As I get to the top of the bowl, I'm starting to turn more air than I am wood, and it's starting to get rougher. I'm getting less shavings, the tool is bouncing more because I'm right at that top and I'm still got that piece where I couldn't round it out on my bandsaw and I was too lazy to go get my chainsaw. The bowl's starting to get round. I've got good contact. It's starting to come into shape. I think it's going to be more of a platter than a bowl. I don't think I'm going to get a lot of depth out of it, but we shall see. Starting to turn the bottom, put a foot on it so I can flip it around and start hollowing. I'm getting good shavings. Back to my favorite bowl gouge. Just going to push that line across to get a nice flat bottom and then build down the tenon for this. Got a circle mark that will easily accommodate my large chuck. This is a rough turn. By the time this thing dries, that circle will be an oval, so it doesn't really matter. I'm going to cut a tenon, probably 3/8 of an inch or about 10 millimeters deep, so that I can grab onto it with a chuck and flip it around. With the foot cut, I'm going to unscrew it from the worm screw, flip it around and mount the foot into the chuck, and then I'm going to hollow it out. There it is. There's the worm screw. It does fit. With the bowl flipped around and mounted into the chuck, it's now time to start hollowing. Rough turning is done. The wood's very wet. We're getting a lot of curlicues, not a lot of dust. That means it's wet. 18%, 15% is the moisture content. That's not that bad. It's too wet to turn it all the way down, but it's not like where I usually started on some of the sassafras bowls, which was in the mid-20s. So again, I found this bowl on the side of the road at the South Colony golf course, and it's been sitting here in my basement. I thought it was oak at first. It's not. It's maple. I started cutting into it and like, oh, that is not oak. It was very out of balance, and I was too lazy to go take it outside with my chainsaw, and I don't know how I would have even cut it. So at this point, we're going to leave the sides thick. We're going to put it on the shelf behind me, and then we'll come back to it in 6 months or so when the moisture content is down. So I'll see you then. 6 to 8 weeks later, the house has been very dry. The piece dried quickly. Because of that, it's very oval, so I'm going to mount it in my homemade Longworth chuck, and I'm going to make it back round again. I have plenty of material to work with, so this shouldn't be an issue. Here I'm pointing out that because it dried so quickly, we had a lot of shrinkage in the direction of the grain. So we'll mount it in the Longworth chuck, and we'll make that foot round again. My Longworth chuck is 3/4 inch ply. I should have used 1/2 inch. Makes it a little scary, makes it a little heavy. I've got the circle marked for a tenon that will fit my large chuck. I ended up using my Nova chuck instead of my one-way. The tenon was a little too small for the one-way chuck, but it fit the Nova perfect. I'm going to start by truing it up, making it round. Then I'll work a little more on the shape and a little more on the inside. I'm starting to shape the bottom. I really almost never have a plan when I go into a bowl. I kind of let the wood tell me what it wants to do. I know it sounds weird, but it's what I do. So at this point, I don't really like how the bottom is. I thought it was a little bit flat, so I wanted a little bit of slope on that, and I wanted a little more curve on that corner. So I'm taking the bowl gouge, coming around that corner, and smoothing it out, getting myself into something that is more of a pleasing shape. With the outside shaped kind of where I want it, I've got to work on the lip. I have 2 bark inclusions or leftover bark from the original piece here. I'm just going to trim it down and make it smaller. I'm not going to make them part of it. There's really no bark. It's just kind of brown wood, and it just doesn't look good. So I'm going to trim that down to where I lose all of that brown, and then I'm going to work on the inside. For the outer lip, kind of the way I want it, I'm going to work on getting the thickness of the walls right and start to hollow it out. This is not going to take very long. It's really a couple of passes. You can see the bowl gouge is making short work of this. I switched to the scraper here. I think I'm being a little bit too aggressive. I'm getting some pretty bad tear out. I need to be a lot lighter on this. But I'm really trying to reduce the material, and I'm having difficulty getting the bowl gouge in there to get the shape of that wall that I want. So the scraper's giving me what I want. It's pretty sharp. It's taking a lot off. but I'm going to get some serious tear out from that. With the inside shaped the way I'd like it, I'm going to go over it with the negative rake scraper and try to clean up some tear out and make sure I have a nice clean cut. With the outside cleaned up, I'm going to now switch to the lip and the inside with the negative rake scraper. I'm going to try and remove any tear out. The regular rake scraper, very sharp, and it's very good at removing any tear out in some of this wood. What you want when you're scraping is you want those little wisp, thin little pieces of curly Q coming off from there. Just paper thin, just touching it, not taking a lot off with each cut. But I am cutting, I'm not tearing, and that's going to clean it up and give me a nice surface. With the turning complete, I start the sanding. I think in this case I went from 150 or 180, I didn't go down to 120, and didn't need a lot. The surface was pretty good from the negative rake scraping. The wood really wasn't all that punky, so I got a really good cut with it, and sanding went pretty quick. Finish, I'm going to use the axe system. I'm going to start step 1 with the tung oil, let that sit for 20 minutes to an hour. Then I'll move on to the wax and the paste. Step 2 is the abrasive paste. I'm going to put a big heavy coat on that, and then I'm going to buff it off with a paper towel. And finally, step 3 is the wax. I'm going to put a coat on, then I'm going to turn the RPMs up and let it melt in. I'll probably do this more than once. Get a nice thick coat on it, make it nice and shiny. Then we're going to flip it over and do the bottom. And here's our first look at the finished product. I think it looks really great. It's not bad for a piece of wood I found in the junk pile, free wood at the South County Golf Course in upstate New York. And now with the piece turned around in the vacuum chuck, I can finish the foot. I'm going to give us a little bit of an inset with a bit of a lip there, get rid of that pencil mark and anything left behind by the chuck, and then I will resand and refinish the bottom. Still in the vacuum chuck, the foot is all cut and all sanded. I've gone through the first 2 axe steps, the tung oil and the abrasive paste. Now, for the money shot, we're really adding in wax. I'm going to put wax on the bottom and more wax on the sides. Why not? I'm here. It's not going to hurt anything. First, I rub it in. Then I try to increase the RPMs and get it to warm up and let the wax melt into the piece.
Careful, this is not held on well. I know.
Final look at the completed piece. I think it came out great. For something I found beside the road that was going to be firewood, I'm so happy now that it's going to be a real bowl and someone can use it. So please like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.